Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be sitting down and chatting. I'm going to be tier ranking every single book that I've rated 5 stars. I've seen a few people do this and I've kind of used their videos and their graphs as, or like their tier rankings as like examples. What I'm trying to say is I have taken what some people have used in their videos and used it for mine, like for some of the levels and stuff. So I'm gonna start screen recording and I will share that with you. We're basically just gonna go through every single book. Like I said, I've rated 5 stars and we'll see if it's still 5 stars. We'll see if I don't feel that way anymore about it. I might think I was absolutely crazy when I rated a book 5 stars, so it's gonna be like dropped way down lower. We're just gonna see, but we're gonna go through. I actually only have, I went through my Goodreads, I only have 20 books I have ever rated 5 stars. And I have been back into like full-time reading for, I don't even know, probably like 3 years. So I'm very surprised, but I'm really excited to go through these. Okay, I'm gonna start screen recording. Okay, so as you can see, I have 5 different tiers. The very top one is I Will Never Shut Up About This. These are all of the books that are basically like 6-star reads. You can really only go up to 5 on like the real, you know, like every app, the typical scale is 1 through 5 stars, but this one is like my 6-star reads. I love them more than I love myself. The next one is You Were Perfect. These are like the typical 5-star reads, books that I'd recommend to anyone. I would reread. I love them so much, but they're not like the top of the top. The next one is A Good Book, Would Read Again. These are books that I feel like, these are books that I still really like, and I may have rated it 5 stars back then and it could still be a 5 stars, but it's not a book that I like think about daily. Does that make sense? The next one is like kind of in the same category, but it's You Were a 5 stars in a Different Time. These are books that I know 100% would not be a 5 stars anymore. So books that maybe I read 3 years ago that were a 5 stars then but are not now. And then the very last one is Was I Okay When I Rated This. I haven't like gone through each of the books that you can see down here, or maybe you can't see them, I don't know. I haven't like gone through them and like actually thought about each one of them, but at a glance I can tell there are some that I'm like, homegirl, why did you rate that 5 stars? Like even then I'm like, why'd you rate it 5 stars? Okay, I don't think these are in any particular order. Yeah, no, they're not. Well actually, yeah, no, they're not. We're just gonna start with the very first one, which is Shield of Sparrows. I actually read this book last month, so this is a very recent read. This one, I don't know if it's I Will Never Shut Up About This. In the moment, I was obsessed with this book, like obsessed. It was so good. You know what? I'm gonna put it in I Will Never Shut Up About This. I absolutely loved this book. A lot of the reviews on Goodreads, people didn't like this book because the first like 60%, nothing really happens. And like I totally get that, but I thought the book was perfect. I really liked the atmosphere. I loved the characters. I loved the found family. I loved everything about it. So that's a very recent read. That's actually my most recent 5-star read. The next one is Fourth Wing. I will never shut up about this. The first 2 are like some of the big ones. I love Fourth Wing. I love this series. Definitely not every book in that series would be in this top tier, but Fourth Wing is just so magical to me. I love books with dragons. Anything with dragons, I love. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I love this book. I love Ali Hazelwood. I love all of Ali Hazelwood's books. I actually am reading a book by her right now, but I'm not completely done with it yet, but I think it's gonna be a 5-star read, but I can't put it in this video because I have a reading vlog coming out with me reading that book in like a week or 2, and I don't want to like spoil that book rating yet, but I love Ali Hazelwood is what I'm trying to say. I think the Love Hypothesis would be You Were Perfect. I literally loved this book. It was so good. I cannot wait for the movie to come out with Lily Reinhart and what is the guy's name? Tom Bateman? Is that his name? If y'all are not on TikTok, you need to go look at Lily Reinhart's videos because I think they're done wrapping the movie now, but she has been posting some absolutely crazy TikToks of like behind the scenes of the movie, and it's gonna be the best movie ever. I don't know if it's coming out in theaters or like on Netflix or what, but I will be watching it the day it comes out. I'm so excited. The next one is Survive the Night. I read this book so long ago. This is one of those books that I read like, I think around 3 years ago when I lived in Fort Worth still, in my apartment in Fort Worth. So it's been a while. I remember thinking this book was the best thriller book I had ever read when I read this. I feel like now it would be super predictable. I don't know. I'm gonna say You Were 5 stars in a Different Time. I still feel like I'd really enjoy it. But I've read better thrillers since then, and I've rated other thrillers higher. Not higher, but I definitely feel like I could have. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like this book was just a very amateur thriller book. The next one is The Summer of Broken Rules. I honestly don't remember much about this book, and that kind of says something. Like, it clearly is still not a 5 stars. I'm gonna say a good book, would read again. I do remember really enjoying it. It was between this and Every Summer After. I read these two back to back in like summer of 2020. I think it was summer of 2023. And we'll get to Every Summer After here in a minute, but I think I liked The Summer of Broken Rules more than Every Summer After, but it's not like a book that I ever think about. So a good book, would read again, and I would still recommend it to people. Okay, Karen Slaughter, The Good Daughter. I think this one's gonna go You Were 5 stars in a different time. Are y'all noticing any repetition here? Look at how You Were 5 stars in a different time only has thriller books. Yep, why are all the thriller books going in? Actually, I do know why. I am not in a thriller mood. I have not been in a thriller mood for, honestly, probably like a year now. I typically read like straight fantasy or like romantasy. I don't really even read straight romance as often. I still do, but not as often. But definitely have not been in a thriller mood, and that's probably why in my head I'm like, okay, I am not in the mindset for thriller. I don't think I liked these books as much as I did back then. So I don't know, it's kind of funny that the 2 thriller books that we've done so far are in You Were 5 stars in a different time. The next one is Some Kind of Perfect. This is the last book, I think, in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. The issue with these, and I knew this was going to come up because there's a few other books like this, but the issue with the series that have like 5 or more books, or honestly maybe like 6 or more books, because there's a lot in that series. There's like 9 or 10. The issue with this is that I cannot, it's been like a year since I've read this series, I cannot remember the difference between each of the books. Like, I remember vaguely what happens like at the end of the series, but once there's a certain amount of books, they kind of all just like not mesh together. What am I trying to say? Merge together in my head. So I'd say a good book, would read again. I love that series. It's like one of my favorite romance series, so I know I would read it again. And I do remember tearing up a little bit, so it was a good book, would read it again, but the fact that I can't remember so much about it, I feel like says something. A Court of Mist and Fury. I will never shut up about this. This is the love of, why is this not working? I will never shut up about Asimov. This is my favorite book in the entire ACOTAR series. I actually just did a reread of this and I posted a vlog of it. I think last month I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I reread A Court of Mist and Fury, or I reread both of them. And I'm actually planning to still reread A Court of Wings and Ruin, Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames, because Sarah J. Maas has announced the new ACOTAR book, and well, not the new one, but like she's announced that she's done writing it. So I'm trying to reread the whole series, but I love Asimov so much. The Naturals, a good book, would read again. I really enjoyed this, but this is actually the only book I read in the series. I stopped reading after this one. I don't even know why. I think that this was on Kindle Unlimited when I read it, but the other ones weren't. Now I think the other books are on Kindle Unlimited, but it was really good. It had a good, not cliffhanger, like good plot twist towards the end, and I remember really being into it. But again, it's not a book that I like ever think about. But I'd still recommend it. It was really good. I would like to continue this series, but I feel like it's been so long now that I'd kind of have to like reread The Naturals. So who knows, maybe we'll pick up the series again, maybe not. Okay, now we're at Every Summer After. I really keep this book and The Summer of Broken Rules like together in my head because I read them back to back and they were both really good at the time, but this is yet again another book that I do not think about. I don't know. I don't remember much about this book. I'm honestly gonna put You Were 5 stars in a different time. I don't know if I would love this one as much just because I'm not a big, like, I think this is YA, and I don't really read YA romance anymore. Like I said, it's usually strictly fantasy, and if it is romance, it's like adult romance. So I may read that one again, but I remember less about this one than I do about The Summer of Broken Rules, so don't know about that one. The Silent Patient. This is one of those thrillers that I do think was better than Survive the Night, but I don't think it'd be a 5 stars anymore. I'm gonna put You Were 5 stars in a different time. I just don't think I'd reread this. I don't know. I don't really have a reason. I just like, I feel it. You know, sometimes you can just like feel it in your bones. Like, it was really good, but I don't think I would reread it now, and I definitely don't think it would be 5 stars again. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell, a good book, would read again. This book was incredibly sad, but it was also really, really good. A lot of people don't even like talking about this book because of how heavy it was, and it definitely is a heavy book. Like, you're gonna cry. I think I read this like 3 years ago. And I would reread it again. I think Lisa Jewell is, what is the other book by Lisa Jewell I've read? I've read another book by her, and she's a really, really good author, but this book was incredibly sad, but also incredibly written, and I feel like I'd like to wait a little bit longer, so maybe I forget a little bit more of the plot, so it's like I'm reading it for the first time again, but that was a really good one. Okay, this is really the only book that I feel like is going to go in low category, and It Ends With Us. I genuinely think if I went back and reread this book, I would be cringing so bad. Like, all of the Ellen stuff that's going on in that book, and how toxic, I almost said Reese, how toxic, oh my god, what is his name? Don't even know his name. Ryle, how toxic he is. I hated the movie, and I genuinely think that if I went back, I know I'm tempted to put this in You Were 5 stars in a different time, because this book really did get me back into reading. But I'm like kind of just so disgusted with the idea of this book now that there's no way I would reread it. And the more I think about it, the more cringy it was. So we're just gonna leave it in this bottom one. Long Way Down. Okay, now we're getting into some of the ones that I was talking about earlier, where once there's like 10 books in a series, they all just kind of like merge together in my head. So I literally could not tell you one thing that happened in Long Way Down. Could not tell you one thing. But the thing is, I know I liked the book. I loved the series. So do I put it in a good book would read again, or You Were 5 stars in a different time? I'm gonna put a good book would read again, because I genuinely would. Like, I am thinking about the series, and I'm like, I would totally reread that whole series right now. I love it so, so much. So I would put that, actually, no, I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, Kristen Hanna, The Nightingale, very top. This book would literally be like all the way up here if I could. Like, it's like a 10-star read for me. Love this book so, 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 so much. It is my baby. I will never, ever, ever stop talking about this book. It's literally like a 1,000-star read to me. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I love The Nightingale. It is the best book ever. Queen of Shadows, same thing. My god, guys. I can't tell you what happens in this book. This is so bad. I'm gonna put a good book would read again, just because I love Throne of Glass with my entire heart, and I know that I loved every single book with my entire heart. It's just the fact that I cannot differentiate, is that the word? I can't differentiate what goes into what book. So clearly it wasn't that good of a book. Kingdom of Ash, think about this book all the time. I do. I think about this book weekly, maybe not daily, but weekly. It was amazing. And I cried so hard, and it was just the perfect ending to a perfect story. I just had to take a little break. Someone ended up calling me, and I had to do something for them really quick, but we're back. So where did I even leave off at? Heir of Fire. Again, another book that I just don't remember what happened in it, unfortunately. Is Heir of Fire the one where Rowan comes in? I think Heir of Fire is the one where Rowan comes in. Okay, The Summer I Turned Pretty. This one, I love the series. Okay, love the series, but I think the books are so much more YA, and I don't plan to ever read it again. I'm gonna put You Were 5 stars in a different time. I really enjoyed this when I read it. I think I was like 21 or 22 when I read it, and now I'm 25. So I remember being obsessed with it when it came out, and that's crazy that I read that before the shows even came out. But I'm gonna put it right there because I don't think it'd be 5 stars anymore. And then A Court of Thorns and Roses, You Were Perfect. I feel like it's rare for people to rate the first book 5 stars in this series. A lot of people say that because it's like the world building and they don't like Tamlin, that it's like either their least favorite book or just like not even close to being at the top. I loved this book. I did. And like I said, I reread this book last month, and I still loved it just as much. I love this world, and I don't like it as much as A Court of Mist and Fury, but it's still absolutely perfect, and I love it so, so much. It is my baby. It's so nostalgic to me. I think I first read it like 2 years ago. yeah, back in 2023. And then I waited 2 years and read it again last month. So yeah, that is all the books that I've ever rated 5 stars. I'm surprised I only have 20 over like 3 years. How many is that per year? So that's like roughly 6 or 7 books a year. I'm really surprised. Like I said, I do have another one that I think I'm going to be adding to the 5-star official list, but I am not completely done with it yet. And I also don't want to spoil the rating because there's going to be a rating vlog for that video coming out after this video. So can't put that in here yet, but make sure you watch that video when it comes out because I probably most likely have a new 5-star read. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any other videos you want me to do down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.